How's it going, guys, and welcome to today's video. As spring sets in around here, it is almost time to let the cows out into the pasture so they can start having their calves. But if history is any indicator, as soon as I do that, sooner or later, one of those girls is going to be wanting to reach her head through the fence to eat the grass that's on the other side. Now that's bad for me because it stretches out the wire and it increases the chances of one of the cows escaping later on. So I need to do something about that. And what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to put up my new Gallagher S40 fence energizer and see if we can keep the cows in. That's what we're doing today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Before we go any further with the video though, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not working with Gallagher on this. This is not a paid endorsement in any way. I actually bought this thing with my own money, so I want to give you guys an honest review and not be swayed by a manufacturer that wants me to say a certain thing. No, we're not doing that. This is going to be what I think of this charger, good or bad. Hopefully it's going to be good, but it's just going to be what I think. Before I get this thing hooked up to the fence though, I thought we'd take a look over it and kind of see what all the indications on this knob mean and go over what comes in the box with this charger. Just kind of get an overview of what you get for your money. Well, you get the box itself, obviously. There's a battery in there that I'll show you in a second. You get an owner's manual, and this is a really nice touch. You get these wire leads to connect the box to the fence. I don't know that I've seen other boxes come with this. I know the box that I have now definitely didn't have these included. And I'm actually glad, because I almost bought some of these yesterday too when I bought the box, but I decided against it, and look at that, I got them anyway. There's one knob on this box and it looks like it pretty much does everything that we're going to need to do. Now, the first indication all the way to the left here is a picture of a battery, and all this is just giving us an indication of the health of the battery. If that's flashing green, that means that it's charging. If it's solid green, it means the battery is fully charged and ready to go. If it's blinking red, then that means we got a problem. The next click here, straight up and down, is the off position. I don't think I really need to explain to you what that means. Now, we have two settings for the electric pulse. The first one here has a picture of, looks like an elk, a coyote, and a wild pig. This is called the wildlife setting, oddly enough. Now what that does is it gives equal power to the fence energizer day or night. So it's basically, it's going to control the livestock during the day when they're active, and then at night when wildlife might be more active, it'll still be giving full power to the wire to help keep them out. The last and final setting down here is the livestock setting. You can see the picture of the horse, cow, and sheep there. And what's different about the livestock setting from the wildlife setting is that at night it'll slow the pulse down, and basically the reason for that is to just conserve power for the daytime. I don't have a huge problem with wildlife out here, so I'm probably going to go with the livestock setting just because I think it'll prolong the life of my battery and maybe even the life of the box. Before the battery is going to charge, or before the box is going to work though, you have to hook up the battery. Now, what I really like about this Gallagher box is that it's actually pretty easy to access, and I like the way they have this set up. So all we have to do is unscrew this screw right here, which I still can't decide if it's easier to use a screwdriver or to just do it with my hands. But once that is loose, then this whole thing opens up and the solar panel actually comes off, and now we have good access to the battery here. As you can see, I've already hooked the battery up, so this battery should be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together. All right, that's ready to go. This post on the southwest corner of the property is where I like to mount the solar boxes because it faces them towards the south, and that gives them pretty good exposure to sun all day long. So I'm going to pull this old one down and put the new one up. Especially with a new battery, I like to let these charge for a little while before I turn them on. So while this thing is soaking up the sun, I think we need to go around the perimeter of the ranch and check the fence and make sure that the hot wire is not grounding out anywhere, so that when we do finally turn this on, it'll actually work. So I found my first, well, we'll call it a potential issue. Right here, these hot wires pass by this steel pole, and anytime the hot wire goes by metal like that, I always like to insulate it somehow, so if a cow's pushing on the fence or whatever may happen that would cause that wire to touch that pole, if that happens, it won't ground it out. So I've already got these sleeves here. They've just slid down for whatever reason, so I just need to slide them back into place. And if I ever think about it, maybe come back here with some electrical tape so that I can secure them in the right spot and they won't move again. But for now, those are going to be fine. I just pulled up to the south fence here, and I don't know, for some reason, this half of the fence, all the insulators are broken or on the ground, so I don't really know what happened here. I think because the wire was dead, that maybe the calves were trying to like scratch their heads on these insulators since they're sticking out so far, and whenever they were doing that, they were breaking them off. So I'm going to come through here and replace these. If the wire stays hot, this isn't an issue, so it's my fault really for letting it go dead like that, but we're going to fix this up and move on. Well, I finally got this fence line up to snuff again, so I think we can move on to the next line. All right, well, we have reached the end of the fence line with surprisingly few repairs. So let's run back up to the box. It's been charging for a couple hours now. Let's turn it on and see how hot it is. All right, we're back up here at the Energizer, and it is still charging, but like I said, it's been going for a couple hours, so I think it should be all right. So all I got left to do now is just hook these wires up and turn it on and see what we got. Now the problem is I don't really have a good place to stand here because this is pretty steep, but I think if I can kind of sit on the fence here and not fall, then it'll be fine. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but it's about 4.5. Sometimes it'll hit 4.7, 4.8, so that's pretty good. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not really sure what the numbers on the tester represent as far as what unit of measurement that is, but I do know kind of what each number means as far as effectiveness. I like to see at least 3 on a pasture fence to keep cows, calves, and even bulls where they need to be. So with us being at 4.5 and sometimes over, I think we're going to be just fine. It's working. And I am sure that people are going to ask me, does it hurt the cows when they hit the electric wire? I say no. The reason I say this is because I have been hit by the electric wire more times than any cow out here has ever been hit. I can guarantee you that. It doesn't hurt. It feels very uncomfortable. It makes me never want to touch that wire again. But as far as does it hurt, the answer is no. So far, I'm really happy with this Energizer. The features are good, it appears to be well made, and it comes with a 3-year warranty, which hopefully I won't have to test. But let's be honest, they all work good when they're new. The true test for something like this is going to be the test of time. So over the next few months, or even years, as long as I own the thing, I'll keep you guys updated on how it's working and how I like it. Thanks for hanging out at the ranch with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.